Hi everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the different roles in Hell Let Loose and give a breakdown on the purpose of each role and how you can best help your team to victory. So I'm going to start here with the commander, and this is essentially one of the most important roles for the team. Your job is going to be basically to strategize the best way possible for your team to be put in a good position to win. And this comes with the task of communicating with all of the other squad leaders, which I'll talk about later, and relaying information to them to relay to their squad. Another priority is setting up defensive garrisons for your team to spawn in if you get pushed back. Also spawning in vehicles such as tanks and supply trucks. You also have the ability to call in bombing runs and recon planes and etc. You are the team's core to leading them to victory. Next, we have the officer, which I generally refer to as the squad leader. Your role is going to be a step down from the commanders. You and all the other squad leaders will have access to the command chat where you can communicate with each other and help relay information out on the field to the other squads. Each squad leader is equipped with a pocket watch where you can put down an outpost, which is a spawn point for your squad only. And the pocket watch is also used to put down garrisons for the entire team to spawn in on, which you do need supplies in order to put down a garrison, but not an outpost. Outposts you can put down for free. And basically, you get information from the other squads and the commander and give your squad some form of direction in what your objective should be. You get a small variety of weapons, and the equipment doesn't really change as you level up your squad leader. Next on the list here, we have the Rifleman, and basically your job is to pretty much just shoot things. I kind of categorize Rifleman, Assault, and Automatic Rifleman in the same category, as you ultimately serve the same purpose of just being an effective shooter on the field. In terms of equipment for the Rifleman, you will be given an ammunition box with the standard issue, which you can drop for your teammates to resupply their primary weapon ammunition. And the level 6 role for this, you get an explosive ammunition box for your anti-tank guys to refill their rockets with a box that is dropped on the ground. Next here we have Assault, which like I said pretty much serves the same purpose, but you get a different variety of weapons between fully automatic and semi-automatic. As you see, you really only get grenades, a hammer, and some bandages. The Grenader class, as you unlock, I believe at level 6, you just get more grenades, I believe. And down here on the Raider role, you get access to a satchel charge, which can be used in multiple ways, and they're set on different timers. The Automatic Rifleman, self-explanatory, you get access to automatic rifles. Not much in the equipment changes. It's pretty much all the same stuff. Then here we have Medic. Your role is to provide aid out on the battlefield, whether that is using your morphine to revive somebody who is downed, or just to help them bandage up if they've ran out of bandages on the field. And you'll see here you get 20 morphine and 20 bandages, so you can heal a lot of people on the field before you run out of anything. The second loadout under Medic, you get access to a crate where you can drop on the ground and your teammates can resupply their bandages if they've run out. Essentially it works like an ammo crate, but it's just for healing bandages for your friendlies. And the medics it's a very underutilized role because the average person gives up very quickly on the battlefield before a medic even gets a chance to get close to revive. And it's not very popular because the weapons are not very strong. And so next up here we have the support role, which is also underrated. There's really not much to it. You have a box of supplies down there that you can drop periodically. They have to refresh after so many minutes. But the supplies can be used for teammates to build garrisons. You can have your anti-tank buddies build a field gun on the ground, which I've made a video for if you want to check out how to do that. But yeah, your main focus with this role is to drop supplies for your team wherever they need it. It's kind of hard to find support players, so you can be very vital to the fight. Now there's the ammo carrier version loadout, which gives you a box of supplies. You also get a rifle ammunition box to drop to your buddies, and you also get an explosive ammunition box to your buddies to drop for their AT rockets. And in the last level loadout for support, you get access to a flamethrower and a box of supplies. Now with that said, I've heard the flamethrower isn't that good, but I don't know. And then here we have machine gunner, which is pretty basic. You don't get any equipment, really. Your main priority is to just support your team with suppressing fire to help them cross fields or get in a defensive position and help defend the point. Next, we have my personal favorite, anti-tank. Now, you can use this in many different ways. The standard issue up there comes with a rocket launcher, depending on which faction you're using. So the standard issue, you can be on foot and actively hunt for tanks. I also have a video out for that on the basics of anti-tanking and how to effectively do damage to tanks. Then here you have the gun crew, which you can build an AT gun with the wrench and the hammer down at the bottom there. I have a video if you want to check that out. And then the ambusher, you get access to a satchel charge and anti-tank mines that you can place on the ground. Now the satchel you can use either placing it on buildings or you can destroy tanks with it. And then we have the engineers. These guys are low-key the heart and soul of the team. Now you're not going to get much in weapons, but in the standard issue here it comes with a wrench, a hammer, a blowtorch which you can use to repair vehicles and whatnot. You get some anti-personnel mines as well on the bottom left, and some anti-tank mines as well. Now the engineers, they usually will help build up defensive points, and you can use your wrench to put blueprints down for blockades and barbed wire. You can build bunkers, and keep in mind this all takes supplies, so that comes back to support as well. So if you have an engineer that needs supplies to build something, he can use it effectively. And like I said, the wrench is how you see all of the placements that you can put down for the engineer. And the pioneer and engineer also gets access to a satchel charge and AP mines, but you do lose your blowtorch and your anti-tank mines. Also, you have the ability to build nodes for your team, which are basically little structures that give your commander supply points to call in the bombing runs and spawn vehicles, etc. And so now on to tanks. You have your tank commander, which is essentially just a tank squad leader. He has access to the command chat, and he is using that to communicate with the other squads to locate other tanks and points of interest for you guys to head towards, or, you know, to watch out if you got something coming up from behind you. So it's a good way for them to communicate with them and you, so you have a good idea of what's going on around you, not just what you can see. And so there's two loadouts here. You get the standard issue, which I believe comes with a submachine gun for all of them. And then you have your mechanic. Now the mechanic comes with no primary weapon, but you do get a blowtorch, which you can use to repair your tank. If you get tagged up in a battle pretty good, you can use it to fall back and repair real quick. Now your crewmen are going to be your other members of your tank crew, and their standard issue comes with no primary weapon because you're going to be inside the tank, should be 100% of the time. And then they also have access to a mechanic role as well, with a blowtorch to help repair. Next we have the Recon unit here. These are the most popular role to use in the entire game, partially because there's only two-man recon squads on each team. And so the spotter here is going to be your recon squad leader. He's going to get a submachine gun to use, some anti-personnel mines, an ammunition box, and a watch to put down outposts for you guys. And then as you level it up, you can get the scout, which comes with no mines, but you do get a flare gun, which you can shoot up in the air, and it will display enemy pings on the map of where they're located when you shoot the flare. But keep in mind, when you do shoot the flare, the location that's on the map is where the enemy was spotted when the flare went up. That it doesn't track them. It just keeps the position of where they were initially marked. So if you look at your map and mark where a person may be, if they've moved, then that dot is not going to be accurate. Then next here we have the sniper, which is the second man in that recon squad, and he is equipped with a sniper rifle that has a scope on it. It is the only class in the entire game that has any type of sight on a gun. It's usually a bolt action rifle for this first one, and you get a grenade, a sidearm, some bandages, and a shovel. And the veteran on the Germans gets a semi-automatic FG-42, which can be very good up close to medium range, but anything stretched out over long distance becomes a 2-shot kill unless you hit them in the head. So if you're looking to do some long range sniping, the bolt action is going to be your best bet in that case. The FG-42, however, is really good because as recon, your main objective is going to be behind enemy lines, destroying enemy defensive garrisons that they've put up, destroying enemy nodes that they've put up, so that you can deplete their supplies for their commander to call in bombing runs and vehicles and whatnot. So the FG-42 is good in that case, where you can get up close and personal and not have to worry about losing a gunfight because you have multiple shots. You can also disrupt enemy artillery back in their headquarters base. You can sneak up far behind enemy lines and be a pest to their artillery to keep them off the guns and keep them from firing constantly on the objectives and help your boys give them enough time to move in. So recon is pretty important as well. Also, gathering intelligence for the rest of the team as well, and your commander and your squad leaders being behind enemy lines, you can see what's coming first. So you have the most information that you can relay to your teammates to help them know what the enemy is doing. And so here I'm just looking through the United States loadouts, and unfortunately they don't have access to a semi-automatic sniper rifle. Instead, you just get the veteran class, which comes with smoke grenades. But everything else in terms of equipment should be the same universally between each one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's a basic breakdown of the different type of roles and how you can effectively play that role. Being a new player to this game, it's definitely overwhelming not knowing really what's going on and having to learn as you go. So definitely don't be discouraged by the overwhelming amount of information this game has to offer. If you have any questions on something I may have missed, don't be afraid to reach out to a teammate on the battlefield. With that said, that brings us to the end of the video here. I appreciate you all for sticking around, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.